Hello, we're continuing with the laws of Hanukkah, and we are in Siman Tuf Reish Pei Beis, Siman 682 in the Shulchan Aruch and Mishnah Berurah. Kol Shmonis Mei Hanukkah, all 8 days of Hanukkah, Omer al Hanisim. You should say al Hanisim. B'birkas Hamazon, b'birkas Haaretz, u'b'tfila b'birkas Modim. In benching, in birkas Haaretz, and in Modim. So, in benching, whenever we bench, and whenever we daven during Hanukkah, for all 8 days, we say this. We add the special insertion of al Hanisim. Vim lo amar, and let's say you don't say it. Let's say you forget it. Ein machzirin oso. You don't have to repeat the Shemona Esrei. You don't have to repeat benching. There's certain things, certain insertions that if you forget to say them, you have to go back and do benching or daven again. Al Hanisim is not one of them. Umiu im niskar ba'oso bracha. But if you remember and you're still in that bracha, kol zman shelo hiskar es Hashem, as long as you didn't say God's name. Afilu niskar bein ata lahashem choser. If you said Baruch Ata and you didn't say God's name yet, then you still go back to say Al Hanisim. But if you already said God's name, then just forget it. Says the Rama, Yesh Omrim kishashachach Al Hanisim b'berachos hamazon kishamagia laharachaman Yomer. There are those that say that in benching, if you forget to say Al Hanisim, when you get to the Harachaman section later in benching, you say Harachaman hu yasa lanu nisim v'niflos kashem she'asis elav asena bayamim ha'im bazman hazeh b'mei medusyo, and then you say the rest. So a special insertion you say at the Harachaman section in benching. If you want to see exactly what that is, you can look in the Siman Tuf Reish Pei Daled, and I think some benchers also have it inside. Okay, let's see the Mishnah Berurah on that. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Kazu b'svarim shevenusach al Hanisim yomer ve'al Hanisim. Some say that you say ve'al Hanisim with a vav. The vav. Hein b'tfila, hein b'berachos hamazon. Whether it's in benching, whether it's in berachos hamazon, people have different customs. Do you say al Hanisim or do you say ve'al Hanisim? Kisha amda aleim yesh l'daleg tevas aleim. Do not say, when you say kisha amda, don't say alehem after. When they rose upon them. Why? Because upon them, because you're going to say in the next line, upon the Jewish people, that the Greeks came upon the Jewish people. So you don't need to say at the beginning that they came upon them. If a line later you're going to say they came upon the Jewish people. So we don't have to worry about this because we have a siddur in front of us with the proper wording. Only if you say ve'al amcha Yisrael and upon your people Israel with a vav. But again, we don't have to worry about that because we have a siddur, so we could just say what it says in the siddur. Hatam. So why do we say it in modim, and why do we say in berachos haaretz in benching? Because the main idea of Hanukkah is we thank Hashem. We thank Hashem for the miracles that He did for us. So that's why in modim, that's a section of Shemona Esrei where we're thanking Hashem, and the same for berachos haaretz. And then he says that in the Brachos Me'ein Shalos, the Alamechia, we do not mention Chanukah Upurim. There's no special insertion for Chanukah and Purim. Ein machzirin oso. So we said if you forget it, you don't go back. The lav deraisa ninu. V'koy atfilo uberchos hamazon. It is not a Torah obligation, and it's talking about benching, and it's talking about davening. Ve'ein chiluk uberchos hamazon ben b'chol ben b'shavos Chanukah. It doesn't matter whether it's during the week and you're benching on Chanukah or Shabbos Chanukah. After Mochuch La'achol Matzachi Shabbos, even though you have to eat because it's Shabbos, you don't have to go back because of Al Hanisim to Chanukah. The idea is that usually the rule in benching is that if you forget something that it's imperative, if you forget something that requires you to eat a meal, let's say on Shabbos day and Shabbos evening, there's a mitzvah to eat. So Shabbos is compelling you to eat. So if you forget to say ritzeh, which mentions Shabbos, since Shabbos is what compels you to have a meal, and you forgot the special thing of Shabbos, then you have to go back. You have to go back. Now, let's say you're benching on Shabbos Chanukah, you remember to say the Shabbos part, but you don't remember to say the Chanukah part. So the Mishnah Berurah says you do not go back. Why? Because it's not Hanukkah which requires you to eat. Hanukkah doesn't require you to have a meal. Only Shabbos requires you to have a meal, and that you remember to do. Okay. Mishnah Berurah, Sof, Sif, Katan, Lam, and Gimel. Okay. When we get to the Harachamans, Also, if you forget Al Hanisim in Shemona Esrei, you could say this same formula that the Ramah mentions, the Harachaman, that Hashem is merciful, that He did all these miracles for us. You could say that at the end of Shemona Esrei, where you say your personal tefillos. Yom HaRachaman v'chein b'Purim, the same thing with Purim. U'b'Rosh Chodesh u'b'Chanukah Yom Zeh Achar HaRachaman Hu Yichadesh. And if it's on Rosh Chodesh Chanukah, you should say it after the Harachaman for Rosh Chodesh. Mishum detadar kodem. Why? Because Rosh Chodesh happens more often than Chanukah. Rosh Chodesh happens 11, 12, or 13 times a year. Chanukah only happens 8 times a year. Okay, that's Sif Aleph. Let's go to Sif Beis. Gam b'Musaf shel Shabbos v'shel Rosh Chodesh tzarich l'haskir shel Chanukah afal pi she'ein Musaf b'Chanukah. So on certain holidays we have an extra service, the Musaf service, when there was an extra sacrifice brought in the temple. Chanukah does not have a Musaf service. There's no extra sacrifice we bring in the temple because of Chanukah. However, we do mention Chanukah in the Shemona Esrei of Musaf. So when it's Musaf for Rosh Chodesh and it's Musaf for Shabbos, we still mention Chanukah. The Yom Hu shenischayev ba'arba tfilos v'im lo amru eim atzir nosam. And the same rule applies if you do not say the Al Hanisim in davening in Shemona Esrei for Musaf, you do not have to go back. Okay, Sif Gimel. Ein omrim kivshem she'asisa. Don't say the phrase in Al Hanisim kishem she'asisa. Ela misayim va'asisa imayim nisim ugvoros v'mahayim ba'es hazos. We'll see why. V'yesh omrim she'omrim. So there are those that say you say it. So what is this talking about? It says the Mishnah Berurah. Yesh omrim mishum delo yishol adam tzarachov begin rishonos v'achronos. This particular girsa, this version of the text, we are asking for something. We're asking that Hashem do miracles for us in the future. So the reason we don't ask specifically for that is because in this part of Shemona Esrei, the last 3 brachos, we do not ask for our personal needs. In the last 3 brachos of Shemona Esrei, people used to ask for a specific thing in the middle brachos. People really don't do that anymore. Usually, when people want to ask for a specific need, they wait till the end of Shemona Esrei. But for sure, according to the letter of the law, we don't ask for our personal needs in the last 3 brachos of Shemona Esrei. So he says, many people say that's the reason why we don't daven for more miracles at the end of Shemona Esrei. But the Mishnah Berurah says, "V'tosu, this is a mistake. The B'shvil Hatzibur Shari, you are allowed to ask for the community. You're allowed to ask for specific things, even at the end of Shemona Esrei. So what's the reason we don't ask for miracles at the end of Al Hanisim? Ela ikratam, the main reason, dechol davar dehave lahaba tiknu lahaba. Anything that's talking about the future, they're masakin to talk about the future. Whatever the dahave l'sha'avar, ve'ikra Al Hanisim having l'sha'avar. So it's really because the prayer of Al Hanisim isn't a prayer for the future, but we're thanking Hashem. When we thank Hashem, we're talking about the past. So this specific prayer, we're focusing on the past and thanking Hashem for the past. We're not davening for the future. So there are those that say you do say it. Custom Beis Yosef, the Beis Yosef writes, David Kamar Avad, David Kamar Avad. There's different customs, whether you say it or not. The Al Hanisim Yeshleimer, Lashkichim Torasecha, you should add that they tried to make us forget the Torah. V'li Amar Me Torasecha, don't say from your Torah, but Mem, Tzarach Lomer, Shmonos Imei Chanukah Elu Lahodos, and say the phrase Shmonos Imei Chanukah Elu Lahodos. Again, these rules are in general, they're already in the Siddur, so you could just say what the Siddur says in front of you. So just to summarize, we learned that we say Al Hanisim in benching and in all the Shemona Esreis. If you forget it, you do not have to go back. We said, though, if you didn't get to the Hashem's name, if you're still in the middle of Shemona Esrei and you didn't say Hashem's name for the next bracha, then you would go back. You say it during Musaf, we said, and then we talked a little bit about the Girsa. Okay, wishing everyone a great day.